Have you ever stopped to think about that strange paradox of sleep? When you spend 8, maybe even 9 hours in bed, but you wake up feeling like you've barely slept at all? Well, the answer isn't just about logging more hours. It's about understanding how your brain actually rests. It's a really common thing to hear, isn't it? And it's more than just a random comment. It's actually a clue. It points to a huge misunderstanding that most of us have about what a good night's sleep really is. And if you've ever felt that way, you're definitely not alone. There's a clear biological reason for it. And this is the key. Let's really dive into this, because this one idea, it changes everything. The real measure of restorative sleep isn't the number of hours you're unconscious, but how many of these specific, recurring processes your brain manages to complete. This is the secret to waking up feeling truly refreshed. So before we get to the solution, let's first understand the problem a little better. Why does a lack of quality sleep leave us feeling so foggy and unproductive no matter how long we stay in bed? The science on this is pretty clear, and to be honest, it's a little alarming. Just let that sink in for a moment. Consistently sleeping for less than 6 hours doesn't just make you feel tired, it actually impairs your brain's performance, your attention, your reaction time, your decision-making, to the same degree as if you were legally intoxicated. You wouldn't show up to work drunk, but many of us operate in a similar state of impairment every single day without even realizing it. And research absolutely backs this up. You can see it right here in the data. Studies that tracked people for just 2 weeks found this steady, predictable drop in brain function for anyone sleeping 6 hours or less. Their performance just got worse and worse, day after day. And the craziest part? They actually became less aware of just how badly they were performing. Okay, so this brings us right back to that core concept. If just counting hours isn't the right goal, then what is? Well, the answer lies in understanding and then mastering the natural rhythm of your sleep cycles. So here's the crucial point. Think of your brain as being on a mission each night, and that mission is to complete as many full sleep cycles as it possibly can. Just being in bed for 8 hours doesn't mean the mission was a success. It's the quality of that time, the number of completed cycles that truly matters. So, what exactly is a sleep cycle? Well, you can think of it as a journey that your brain and body take roughly every 90 minutes all through the night. It's not one single flat state of rest. It's actually a very dynamic process with different stages, and each one has a really critical job to do. And this shows the two most important parts of that journey perfectly. During deep sleep, your body gets to work on physical repairs, fixing tissues, strengthening your immune system. Then, during REM sleep, your brain takes the lead. It's processing emotions, locking in memories from the day, and even boosting your creativity. You absolutely need to complete both to feel fully restored. Okay, so we get the what and the why. Now, let's talk about the how. How can you actually apply this knowledge to master your own sleep and wake up feeling energized? It all starts with one simple number. This is it. 90 minutes. Learning to think about your sleep in blocks of 90 minutes instead of just hours is the fundamental shift you need to make. This simple change allows you to start working with your body's natural biology instead of fighting against it. And why does this matter so much? Because of this right here. Sleep inertia. That awful, groggy, heavy feeling you get some mornings, that's the direct result of your alarm clock brutally ripping you out of the middle of a deep sleep cycle. It's like being yanked off a train in between stations. You're just left feeling disoriented. So the solution is actually pretty simple. You plan your wake-up time to land at the end of a cycle. Instead of just aiming for, say, 8 hours, you aim for a multiple of 90 minutes. You'll often find that 7.5 hours of sleep, which is 5 complete cycles, is way more restorative than a choppy, interrupted 8 hours. And the best way to make all of this work is through consistency. Your circadian rhythm is your body's internal master clock. When you go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time every day, yes, even on weekends, you train your brain to anticipate sleep. It starts releasing that sleep hormone melatonin right on cue, making it easier to drift off. Now, getting your timing right is half the battle. The other half is creating the right conditions for your body to actually want to fall asleep. And that's where this simple but incredibly powerful routine comes in. The whole goal of a pre-sleep routine is something psychologists call cognitive offloading.
It's a fancy term, but it just means you need to send clear signals to your brain and your nervous system that the day is over, the threats are gone, it's safe to power down and start that recovery process. The 3-2-1 rule is a fantastic way to do this. 3 hours before bed, no more big meals, so your body isn't busy with digestion. 2 hours before, stop all work to let your mind disengage from problem-solving mode. And then, for that last hour before bed, no screens. The blue light from our devices actually suppresses melatonin and keeps our brain on high alert. A great day really does start the night before, but it's cemented in those first few minutes after you wake up. You can actively fight off that sleep inertia and set your energy for the entire day ahead.
The most powerful tool you have for this is light, specifically morning sunlight. When that light hits your eyes, it triggers something called serotonin activation. It's like flipping a switch in your brain that says, okay, it's daytime. This rush of serotonin not only wakes you up, but it also lifts your mood and helps set your internal clock for the rest of the day. So for your first 10 minutes of the day, make it a non-negotiable priority to get some sunlight. Either go outside or just stand by a bright window. Don't check your phone first. If you combine that light with a little bit of movement or even just a splash of cold water on your face, you trigger the release of dopamine and norepinephrine, your body's natural energy chemicals. You'll find that morning fog just melts away. When you put all these techniques together, it's about so much more than just feeling less tired. It's really about changing your entire relationship with sleep and unlocking a whole new level of mental and physical performance. Let's be very clear about this. We live in a culture that often celebrates hustle and treats sleep deprivation like a badge of honor. But the biological truth is this: sleep is not a weakness. It is not a passive state of laziness. It is an active and absolutely essential recovery mode for your brain. By learning to sleep smarter, not just longer, you give your brain the deep restoration it needs to perform at its best. A rested brain leads to a focused, creative, and resilient mind. You don't just stop being tired, you become capable of so much more. So the question is, what's one small change you'll make tonight to start working with your sleep cycles instead of against them? If you found this useful and want to keep decoding the amazing ways your mind works, make sure you subscribe to PsypherMind for more explainers just like this one.